All right, so today we're gonna do this front core support. Do the Rick. Let's get everything that's easily can come off real quick. One. And as you can see, here's our crack. So that's what we gotta. That's why we're replacing this. All right, I've already undone some of these from previous. You know, it's just inspecting everything. So you get all these four. And this thing should just, this plastic that's on the back of the grill should just pop off. There we go. All right. So this comes off like this. All right. Let's take this one. All right, so let's just unhook a couple of these in the back. This one apparently was on there good enough that it took out the whole bulb with the headlight. So we will have to separate this at some point when we put it all back together. All right, so this one's out. That's garbage. All right, next up, probably gonna do this headlight. And it's oh, it's kind of loose. Might be just these two for right now. I do have a new one of these, a new one. I have a used one, and I do have another used bumper cover. So those two will have to come off. This headlight comes off. Once these three are gone, that's all the removal of things that are in the way that needs done to do the core support according to the directions. So we'll see if that is correct. All in all, considering they totaled this, there wasn't a whole lot of damage. So I'm glad we're gonna fix this. So honestly, I probably don't have to remove So basically the upper part of the bumper gets held into this piece right here, which is part of the core support that we're replacing. These little holders are part of it. Whoops. What's this? Oh, that's part of the headlight, isn't it? It's part of something that holds the headlight in. I'm gonna need to replace this headlight too. Let's see. So yeah, so if this is broken, that's your headlight. If this is broken, that's part of this bumper cover. It looks like I'm gonna need to get this black piece that I don't have right now, but we'll get one of those. These hold your headlights in right here. All right, so make sure you have those. But yeah, these two alone will work in a pinch. We're gonna probably reuse that one if I can't get one in time. But you got really it's 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And this is just like a tab that holds it in place from moving. But see, look at this side compared to this side. And this is why, another reason why we're replacing this. So this all broke off on this piece right here. The headlight portion is gone. And then that's broke off. It's all, looks like it's like fused together with this somehow. But so this upper cover piece is supposed to come off just so you can slide these in and out with the new one. That's damaged, so we're going to take off the whole thing. All right, so it looks like we're going to have 2 10 mils on the underside of this one, and there's one for the back. Both of those are going to be a 10 on the underside, and that should release it from the fender. This whole side is probably going to be loose after that. This side I already did one. I just did that front one, but I just realized there's a back one, so that's why this side is still tight. That's as far as you need to go according to the official rules of building, of the official rules of posting and removal, the removal steps. We're gonna take mine, that lower, off after I finish this job because it's clearly broken and nasty. And the good news is it doesn't look too difficult. That part was kind of a little bit tricky getting off. I need to replace everything right here. This piece, this black plastic piece. I saved this one little guy. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I saved this one. Probably could reuse this. It did get cracked on one, but everything else is intact. So I'm probably, if I had some plastic glue, I could just glue that. I'm probably just gonna reuse this as is versus buying another one, unless I can get it for nearly free. The first step, now here's the tricky part. You gotta baggie or label all your screws, right? So these right here, I think we might just put them back. One. This fender's not going anywhere, so I might just put them back. So, and then these two. Now this fender is going to be replaced. I do have a replacement one already. Look at here. See how this got pushed out? I believe the gap, you see it here, but I think it's just aluminum and it's easy to bend. It got pushed out hard enough that this whole thing twisted, and I think that's all I'm needing to worry about. You see the gap there versus this side. So after we put this new piece on, this should be straight across the middle again, and then I can probably put this I'll take this off next, but that'll be for another video. All right, so we're gonna stick these back in here for now. I know when I replace this, I have to swap over these clips and screws. All right. That way I just keep track of things without having to label them. So just like I got all these here, the headlight ones. All right, first things first, take your 10 on a flex head or anything. If you got a power rack, that'd be great for get all these little stuff. We are using a Craftsman V-Series flex head set. I think if you check my Instagram, I posted a picture of it at one point. And then the old handy dandy Ingersoll Rand. This is the little W3131. I think it's up to like 100 foot-pounds. It's just a lightweight little wrench that can get pretty much anywhere you need to. Nice light in the front. So I like these for power tools, even though I know they don't have as many feet or many different versions as Milwaukee or DeWalt, like all the random tools. For these main impacts, I like using as good as I can afford, and I think this might be the best I can get right now. So, but let's all right, so we're gonna, ooh, that's on there pretty tight. All right, so these four, this junction box, this thing is gonna have to be loosed. That'll be up first. It looks like they're on there pretty tight. Seemed to be easiest for me was I just pinched this top one a little bit and then pulled it down. Oh, that's why. If you're gonna slide it off, you need to lift this up a little bit because there's a tab right there. So I guess sliding it probably would be easier, but I guess whatever's more likely to break. It looks like you do have to slide this. Yeah, see how there's a, yep. So if you lift up this corner with a really small pick or fine flathead, then you could just slide this to the right. But I did it that way, I didn't break nothing, so we'll go with that. Next up on the list is the horns. Looks like just one right there. So let's see if the old Ingersoll can't bust that off real quick for us. That's a 10. Whew. That was quick. Okay, good. Let's just set this to the side. We'll put this back in. All right, now directions. Oh, we got this one too. Hood latch. Hood latch, you got one cable push-in tab over here. Yep, it's just one. All right, well that came out pretty easily. All right, now the directions that I'm looking at, say there's a coolant tank you're supposed to move away. That must be for a different year, because this is on the fan shroud. Obviously the coolant's here. I think I'm done. So the last step is just undoing these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's what we're gonna do now. That is a much larger bolt. Looks to be around a 14, 15, so. Okay, so we've got this apart, and I think it's loose. It's not, I initially thought it was connected to this bracket system or something, but it is not. So honestly, it looks like a lot of work, but this is honestly pretty quick job if all you're swapping is this bracket. So it's loose now. See that whole thing is, all right. Up. I gotta get these two on the back, and then I think we'll be done. Ooh. Yep, there's 2 more 15s on either side in the back, and then this thing's coming off. Okay, so here's my replacement one. All right, and it looks like the only thing I got is these bottom 2 fingers they're where the radiators sit. I had to undo a couple of these tabs because they connect both to the frame or the core support and the radiator itself. So on both sides you'll have to undo these. And now it looks like, if you can see back here, right down there, I think it's just resting on a mount, but I'm gonna have to try to hold this up a little bit while I slide that out. That's what it looks like, as you can see. All right, so I'm not gonna be able to film that part. Let me get it out, and then I'll say what I found. All right, guys, so yes, the old one I just pulled out. As you can see, let's compare it to the new. Sure looks like it's the same to me, so glad they got me the right one, the junkyard. This is just a resting point for the radiator, and you got to put it in first. The weird thing is that you got to basically lift this up here to get right here. That's it. This just rests in that hole. There's no screws. It spins. It just rests in there, but you got to lift it up straight. It's kind of weird because when you lift it up straight, the front of it hits this part. Now I'll say this in the future, if maybe I was a little bit more serious about keeping this a long time, right now would be the optimal time to do AC condenser and radiator. Basically pull this whole front out and make it all fresh, because I don't want to say this was a lot of work. It made it easier for me because everything was broke, or most of it was broke, so I didn't have to worry about, one, pulling it apart nicely to make sure it goes back together nicely, but two, a lot of the stuff I didn't have to unscrew or anything because it was already broken. So, but let me get this back on. Like I said, the hardest part is kind of resting it in these jams. Here's another thing I forgot to mention. The horn has a clip, a connector, so you could just unplug the connector and leave it plugged in. I realize that now because the replacements came with the horn, and then there's a connector on it. So I messed that one up a little bit, but that's okay. This one's a little bit trickier because it's harder to see. I did have to undo the positive side to get to this one right here. But yeah, this thing basically supports your whole front cooling stack. All right, so it's a pretty important piece. Not to mention it aligns your hood with the cable, with the latch cable. So we're gonna get this new one on there. I think the hardest part, honestly, is probably going to be getting these back in. But once they're in, you know, it's just what, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then one in the back. So 8 bolts. It's an 8-bolt part. 8 bolt itself, and then all the other little bolts that are on it. So it's definitely some time. If you're experienced, if this wasn't your first time, I suppose it could get done a little bit faster. I did have to use some hand tools if I had if my battery was charged, and I could have used a power ratchet. Might have gone a little bit faster for me. The hardest part, it might be easiest to remove the whole bumper as one piece, because I tried separating it right here from the bottom. You know, undo your screws here. Once it's separated from the grill actually probably stay on, and then you take apart down the whole bumper, the top part and the grill together as one piece, and just pull the whole thing off. That's a possibility. That probably saves some time for sure. But yeah, this is the video. I'm gonna put this back together, and once I have the new horse support bolted on, we'll be done. All right, I got it. We should be. So 2 things to note on this new one. Right here is a bolt that has a plastic alignment tab on the back. I don't know if you can see it right there. Nothing's crazy about it. It just fits into this frame area, and that's it. So if you break it, I guess not a big deal, but it kind of might get in the way when you're lining things back up. So how I was able to do this side's pretty self-explanatory. A little bit less room on this side though, but basically you got to slide it under there with this still leaning forward. So because when this goes up, obviously it's going to hit this, so you can't just stick it flush, and that just has to be leaning forward. And then you kind of, once it hits it, you kind of just shove it, and as the thing drops, it drops just low enough to get through here. So what I had to do, I could not do it by hand. I spent a little bit of time trying to pick it up here. What I ended up doing is I got it like in a resting position right in front of it, where the tab was right in front of the mount. And then what I did is I took a bar like this and I rested it right here. And let's see, as you can see right there, all I did was I lifted this up, see that, to where it needed to be, so I could see how high it was, and I lifted it just high enough to slip that piece in, and then dropped it, and bam, that was it. I think next time if I was going to do this again, that's probably how I'd get it out. This side's a little bit more difficult. I just kind of stuck this, I knew a radiator was back there somewhere, so I stuck it back here, and let's see, where is it? It's a little bit tougher on this side because you can't see nothing. But same thing, you pull it up, it goes up. And once it's there, push it in place, push it forward. Once all the holes line up, and they are, bam, bam. All right, I can put this back together with those 8 screws right there. And I think the 2 big ones, in the back are a little bit bigger. Yeah, these are the ones for the back. They're just a little bit different. All right, but I'm not gonna film any more of this on the install. It's just reverse. The hardest part is done, the new part is in, and now it's just going through everything. And as I reassemble, connect it, and just reverse the order. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, this is a 2014 Ford Expedition 2-wheel drive with a 5.4 V8. Last year the V8, I believe, and that's why I have it. It's the newest one with the V8, and I'll be doing some videos on this one over the next couple months, maybe a year or two, as we drive it. This one was in a wreck, and that's why it needed this one. Insurance totaled it, believe it or not. And as you can see, everything in the front is going to be perfectly straight. And I'm hoping that, as you can see, this is turned out. It's supposed to be straight back. See right here? So I really think I put a new fender on this, and this is going to be perfectly straight as it came before the wreck. Because clearly this core support, all the bolt holes line up perfectly, so that's not bent at all. But yeah, this should be straight and this should be good. Thanks for watching though. Definitely something you can do yourself. You don't need to pay a shop to do this little thing right here. Nothing has to be disconnected. No fluid has to come out, drained or refilled. It's just bolts. All right, so thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.